Hey everyone, this is Stacy from e-GMAT. Welcome to our channel. Thanks for stopping by to solve this question on spinning figure skater with me. We're going to go ahead and be using that e-GMAT three-step approach to work through this sentence. Our first step is going to be that meaning analysis. We're going to go ahead and utilize the sentence structure to extract the meaning and figure out what our author is intending to communicate here. So as I begin reading, I see that during an ice age, so I know right away I have my time period set. I know that this is happening sometime during an ice age, so I keep reading to find out what is happening during the ice age. The buildup of ice at the poles and the drop in water level near the equator speed up the Earth's rotation. So I have two things that are working together in a way to speed up the Earth's rotation. So I kind of have this process happening. So one is the buildup of ice, and two, the drop in water level. So these two things together speed up the Earth's rotation. So that is making logical sense here. So I keep reading. Like a spinning figure skater, so I'm going to make note right here that I have a comparison happening. Like a spinning figure skater whose speed increases, so whose speed is describing that spinning figure skater whose speed increases when her arms are drawn in. So I get this increase of speed happens when the figure skater's arms are drawn in. Okay, so let's pull these key aspects. The first thing I know is that during the ice age, the buildup of ice and the drop in water levels speed up the spin of the Earth. So this is aspect one that we got from this first portion of the sentence right up here. The second part, the process is compared to a spinning figure skater. So this was aspect two that they gave us. And aspect three, a spinning figure skater increases speed by drawing in her arms. So this is that third piece. Now, anytime I have a comparison, I always like to pause and ask, is my comparison logical? And just to go back to some basic fundamentals, it's pretty elementary, but I think it's important for us to do this logic check. We know we always need to be comparing apples to apples when we have a comparison, just to make sure we get that logically correct meaning. So is that what we have going on here? Now in aspect one, we know we have this process or the way that the Earth's rotation is sped up, right? That was that buildup of ice and that drop in water levels. Now, that is aspect one. That is being compared to aspect two, which is the spinning figure skater. So this is a noun entity. So we have a process or the way that the Earth's rotation is being sped up being compared to a noun or the spinning figure skater. This is not apples to apples. So our comparison is not logical. We cannot have two separate entities being compared. So we either need to have a process or a way to a way, or a noun to a noun. So this is going to lead us right into that error analysis. And we have to not only ask, is this comparison logically correct, but we also have to ask, and is it grammatically correct? Now, as we were just discussing in that meaning analysis, we have a problem with aspect two here, because we can't have this process that, or this way that the Earth's rotation is sped up that's described in aspect one being compared to the noun entity of that spinning figure skater in aspect two. So let's take a closer look at the stated comparison. Here we have A and B are sped up like Y. So here A would be the buildup of ice and B would be the drop in water levels. Speed up X, which is that Earth's rotation, like, which is the way we get that comparison being communicated grammatically, like Y, which is or spinning figure skater. And that's not going to be logically correct or grammatically correct, because we know we use like to compare noun entities, but here we have a process or the way the Earth's rotation is spun up. So that's more of an action, and we're using like to compare an action to a noun. So we know we can't do that. So if we look at the logical comparison we would need A and B, being that buildup of ice and that drop in water levels, speed up x, which is that Earth's rotation, as, so we would need as, because we need to compare the way these two things are done, a spinning figure skater increases her speed. So as y increases, we'll say z here. That's the formula we're going to need for our comparison to make this logically and grammatically correct. So let's move on over into those answer choices. We know we can reject choice A right away because of that meaning and error analysis that we just worked our way through. So let's get to work on choice B here. Now, choice B, like the increased speed of a figure skater when her arms are drawn in. Now, this is repeating the error of option A. The noun spinning figure skater has been increased with increased speed. We see speed here, but that's still a noun entity. So does that fix the communicated comparison? Nope, it does not. In addition to repeating that original error, option B is completely removing the word spinning from the sentence. It's not used anywhere in this choice. Now, this word removal leaves us with a slight meaning change because the essence of the spinning figures is inherently needed here in order for the comparison to be communicated properly. So we're going to go ahead and reject choice B, and we're going to move on to choice C. Now, choice C here, again, we have the issue of the comparison with the logic. The two things not being logically compared. We have like a figure skater. So again, we have that noun entity. And like certainly cannot compare the two processes. So this choice is out for sure. So we're going to reject choice C and move right on to choice D. Now, choice D has us headed in the right direction. We might see the use of as and be looking for that buzzword to compare the two processes or the way. So if you jumped on this seeing as and the grammarian and you said that that is it, as compares actions, I want you to hold on and ask yourself, where is the action? Do we actually have an action associated with spinning figure skater here? And you're not going to see one because in the absence of the verb, the use of as to present the comparison is considered incorrect here. Now, you may say that increases here is our verb, but we have who sitting here. So this is who increases is actually working as the subject-verb pair. There's no verb associated with spinning figure skater. So D is not getting the job done, and we're going to go ahead and have to eliminate D and hope choice E has our correct answer for us, and it absolutely does, just as a spinning figure skater increases. So here we have that verb, skater increases speed by drawing in her arms. So we have logically what we need. The way the Earth's rotation is sped up compared to the way a figure skater increases speed by drawing her arms in. So we have a process to process, or the way in which something is done to the way in which the figure skater increases speed. So choice E gets the job done for us, gives us that logically correct and with the use of as grammatically correct comparison. Just a few quick takeaways for you. Always take the time, especially with comparison sentences, to ask, does this make sense? Spending more time up front will make your job easier as you move through those answer choices. Comparisons must be both logically and grammatically correct, so make sure that you check for both of those things. And do not gravitate to a choice with a structural change because you see the grammatical buzzword you've been looking for. We saw in choice D here how as was sitting there and it was very tempting, but it didn't give us that logical comparison that we needed. So we have to check that meaning as well. Thank you so much for solving this question with me. Please make sure to drop a like below if the solution helped you. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more solutions and to get more great content to help you on your GMAT journey. If you want to check out the description below, there are some helpful resources to help you continue with your preparations. Again, thank you so much, and from all of us at e-GMAT, happy learning.